Dear Abigail and Daniel Elias, thank you so much for the possibility to have a little interview with you.
Thank you.
So you are working in Venezuela and in the States. You're traveling to Venezuela many years already because you want to help the people. What's the reason? Why do you want to help people in Venezuela?
Uh, well, the reason is because there's nothing more rewarding to change lives, and having the opportunity to turn around the lives of little ones that have no hope. They have nobody to bring them out of the suffering, the hopelessness, the starvation, the lack of security, the protection that the government is not offering, nobody's offering. So it is very rewarding when you go to bed at night and you know you have done something to change the world.
And that's the point. How can you go to sleep when you see kids to be on the street all night by themselves with rain, under the rain, no food, no loving families around? Those pictures just stay on my mind, and I just couldn't be the same. I had the big blessing to have a mom and dad and a nice house and good food. I had never experienced hunger, and now seeing the kids like how they're living, I say no, I want and I need to do something for them.
Wow, so let me understand, because I have never been in Venezuela before. So what is the situation? Because you're talking about hope and security, and you talk about the children doesn't have a home, but what's happening there? So can you bring me to Venezuela to understand the situation? What's happening there?
Well, you know, we usually hear is about countries like there is a war because of the war, the civil unrest. People start immigrating out of the country, seeking refuge in neighboring countries. This is exactly what has happened in Venezuela. But it's not that there is a war per se. It's been just a type of government that has brought lots of starvation, lots of insecurity, lots of crime, lots of unrest, and people are fleeing from that. When no matter what profession you have, and you can make barely $30 a month and not feed your family. So many people have immigrated out of the country, left the kids behind, the elderly people behind. Many have lost their lives in their way out of the country. So we have about 8 million or more that have left the country, and so many children were left behind, and they're in a state of abandonment.
So why didn't they take the children with them?
Because it was hard to get papers like passports, ID cards, all of this. You had to have enough money and contacts also to have it, because not everybody could do it. And since it was a hard process, whoever could have gone away, they did. But the kids, they had no documents, so they couldn't pass the border. So many of them, the parents had to make a choice. Should they go and look for better future so they can help their kids going back or their families, or should they stay in Venezuela being how they're malnourished and not have any other hope? And it's sad, but many of them decided to go with the hope that they were gonna come back, but some of them didn't make it. And we have listened to many stories from the kids that they have never seen mom and dad again. They don't know where they are. They have no contacts with them. And as we were helping the people at the street also, we have been able to find some families outside of the country, which has been a huge blessing to reconnect. But there are many others that they don't know where their families are.
Wow, that's so many informations. That's amazing. So you reconnected families. That's what you did?
Yes, we have at least seven different cases where we have found their relatives, but others we have heard that they're in jail or they died. And it's not easy for Venezuelans that are so many now in different countries to work as they don't have papers where they go, and many more cases are the kids are having hard times.
Yes, I don't know if you know that Venezuela was called the Switzerland of the Americas. So for many years, for many decades, many Europeans and North Americans and South Americans landed in Venezuela because it was very affluent. It's a beautiful country, and as soon as this socialist government came in power, many of those people left. People that had passports, people that had their papers, they have traveled before. But in the approximately last 10, 15 years have been the poor people, the lower classes where they don't have
They walk around the country.
Yeah, they don't have birth certificates, so they have to go walking. So they cannot travel with their children without their birth certificates or with their IDs, so they left them behind. Because many went across all part of South and Central America to make it to the States, but many of them stayed in different countries in Central America and South America. So some years ago, you could hardly find, talking about in the 90s when I first traveled outside the country, it was hard to find a Venezuelan outside Venezuela. But now they're all over the world because they're trying to escape the dire situation in the country.
So I understand better what's happening. And let me know, if I would go to Venezuela, how many children do I see in the streets?
Many. If you especially go in the nighttime and the places where are kind of a roof, like the terminal buses or under the bridges, then you will see many of them.
If you go also, one thing they have done, many of them, many thousands have gone to the bordering cities that are, they're going to the cities that are bordering with, let's say, Colombia or Brazil, and they have these places where they call invasions, where they make a little makeshift house, with tin, with cardboard, with whatever, and they live there in very dire situations. But that way they can cross the border for a few days and make some money, at least on the other country, to help the family.
Wow. So what I understand is that there are many children and they are trying to organize themselves, but how do they survive? Because nobody's caring for them. There's no health security, nothing hospital. How do they survive?
Let's not talk about the hospital.
Yeah. How do they survive?
Well, somehow God takes care of them, but they're struggling. They ask for food and whatever they can find during the day, but they don't go to school or they don't have a safe place and they don't have a regular routine, and it's sad to see and to hear what they are doing during the day. They are learning to do things that are not right, but the teachers are just the people on the street as well.
How do they find food?
They go in the garbage. Many of them just go through the garbage and eat what is there. One time I had to stop because I was seeing 2 kids just going through toilet paper. I'm like, guys, there is no food in there. But they were just desperate to find something, and I had the only thing I had, because I'm vegetarian, it was a cassava bread that I was traveling with. It's just cassava bread, no taste. They ate that like if it was the most wonderful food they have ever had. And I was talking with them and say, well, sometimes we get lucky to have some leftovers in the garbage, but Venezuelan garbage is not like other countries where people really leave something. There is like they reuse as much as they can do for the food. So you even can hardly find dogs in Venezuela on the street because people have eaten them.
There was a time, thank God, in the last years, because of people that are outside the country sending money to those relatives that they left behind. The situation has improved. But there was a time where cats and dogs were disappearing. They were disappearing because they were being eaten. And now, but that happens mostly in the cities.
In the cities, yes.
The people that live in the country, they have their trees, you know, the
fruits,
banana trees, the fruits,
the
whatever.
yes.
But the people in the cities are the ones that are really struggling the most.
So are these children also misused by people?
Yes, you know, it is very sad, but somehow the mafias find ways to exploit the sad situation with the children, and what they do, they in exchange for money with relatives, they hire the children to make money for the family and for them. So they put them to beg outside, you know, in the bordering cities, or they use them for prostitution. And many children are
And
also
sometimes they go missing.
yeah, they go missing because there is a mafia also that harvests their
Organ
organs.
traffic, yes.
That sounds very terrible. So if people would send money through the association to you, how would you use, or how are you using the money? How do you help them? And does the money already also arrive at that point?
Yeah. Well, you know, we purchased a piece of land where we want to build an orphanage, and we want to build enough housing, and we are getting the permits with the government in order to do that. But we haven't stopped there. So what we've been doing is with these dining halls where families with a very dire and poor situation, those that are starving, they come, they are fed. We are also teaching them good things of hygiene, you know, giving them utensils, not only food, but also spending time with the children, doing like workshops in order for them to have sort of a little school to learn things that are useful. We have a program where we're gonna be eventually teaching them agriculture, and teaching them beekeeping, teaching them to do different type of works. So that's the plan. So meantime, we're doing as much as we can by going to these different places and helping as many as we can.
It's very amazing. So if somebody sends you $100 or 1,000 euros, what happens with the money? Are you using that all for the ministry, or is that some administration fees in it, or how is the money used?
We first get in contact with the person if he has a specific area that they want to donate, because there are different departments that we help with, and kids, old people, and what we want with the children's home is to have the kids in a safe environment where they can study and they can be loved by all of the staff that works there, and that they can have, you know, feel secure there, and that they can know their identity, and that they are cared for. And that's the main reason we're gonna use it for them, and also to help the ones that are outside.
One of the main lines of where we use the money is to feed them, and to teach them about a better life. You know, give them love as much as we can.
So you have more than 70 feeding stations, right?
Yeah, more than it was about 79 that registered so far in the country to do that. If we offer them a bigger budget to feed them more regularly, so if we get an extra income, so we can increase the amount of meals that we can give per week.
Very good. And you also said that you're building an orphanage now. So how far are you with the building?
Well, we finished building all the dorms for all the volunteers that are working with us. We built also the common area. We're finishing the dining hall. We expanded that area also, and we finished the classrooms also.
So let me
that
know,
we're
is
gonna
that
be
like 70%, 60% finished or 80% finished?
on the classrooms areas, I would say it's like 80% now finished. So we need a little bit more there. The dining area, it's practically done. It was like 92%. But the housing, we are planning to purchase neighboring pieces of land that has already some structures that we would use for the families that are going to be adopting the children.
All right, thank you so much. So let me know, when can the children come to this orphanage?
Well, we have already the doors open. We don't have the permits yet. The government is getting to approve them very soon. They told us, because we got in contact with the governor and the governor's wife, and they say they're expediting that for us. So as soon as we have permits, we will be legally able to lodge them there in our place.
How many children can you help?
Right now, with the structure we have, we could have about 15 children. If we are able to purchase the 2 pieces of land that have already structures, that could jump to 50. But in those places, we can continue building and continue increasing the amount of children.
So what you said, if I understood it right, there could be some land, you could buy some land, and there are some structure already in, so you could receive more children. If you would have the money, you could buy the land, right?
Correct. That's exactly what we would like to do.
So how much is that?
Well, believe it or not, because of the situation in the country, real estate is very, very cheap. So there is a house, a piece of land that is half an hectare. He has a house with like for 4 rooms and all that, and that is selling that for $20,000.
$20,000?
There is another one that has a bigger piece of land. It has like 4 hectares, and it has a house that is usable right now, but it has many more, because they plan to have that like a hostel, and so they have many rooms, unfinished rooms, and they're selling that for $25,000. So that would allow us to jump to 50, 60 children.
So if we have 50 people giving 1,000 euros or dollars, you could buy the land, you could buy the structure, and you could have 50 people, at least 50 children coming to save and live a secure life.
Exactly.
That would be amazing. And tell me,
awesome.
What would be the running costs to let this run with the children, with the food and with the salary, for the workers and the cooks and everything what you need?
Well, the good thing is that we started already working on our industry. So we have been planting. We have over 2,000 banana plants already underground. They're going to start producing very soon. We have planted lots of corn and watermelons and pumpkins. But apart from that, we have an oven, so we're producing bread and granolas and cakes and cookies. And we also purchased about 100 boxes for bees. We have about 10 already operational. Once we are able to install them all, they start producing honey. And so we in reality, what we are going to be producing, with the vegetables and the fruits, and what we produce in the industry, and the honey, plus some things that we do with, we have a workshop, a tailoring shop that we will also use for training the student, but we also manufacture things for sale. So with all of that, I think we can very, very much run the costs, sustain the ministry. That's our plan.
That's very powerful. So you are working on a self-supporting ministry, but you need some money that this can be installed, more children can be saved. Even if you save 50 children, what I understood from your wife, which just takes care of your child at the moment, but what I understood from your wife, that's very minimum, right? There's much more need, more money comes in, you could help more people, because there, if I understand it right, there are hundreds and thousands of young children on the streets which should be saved today.
I mean, yes, that's exactly our desire. You see, it is the most awesome thing of people, but especially children. They are so vulnerable and so needy, and people are so entangled with their own lives that they don't have time to help those that are in the most vulnerable situation. So we dream and we really want to reach as many as possible of those that are on the streets, sleeping under the bridges and eating garbage, and give them security, give them love, and also provide for their basic needs.
I want to say thank you. Thank you to you and to your wife for your commitment, traveling from the States to Venezuela every month, backward, forward to help those who are in need. So may really there much, hopefully, a lot of money and prayers coming to you and support that this work can grow. Thank you so much for the interview, for the time you took.
Thank you.